Good morning and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day, number 216, part 2. Using the Sefer Hachinuch Mitzvah that keeps your soul on its way, the obligation of payah. We are plowing away, folks. There's 613 mitzvahs. We're up to 216 already. Baruch Hashem. We're more than 25% there. All right. The Chinuch provides a basic definition of the mitzvah. Again, the mitzvah of the obligation of payah, leaving off the corner of a field for poor Jews, ideally, righteous converts, and even non-Jews for ways of harmony. The description of how the mitzvah of payah is fulfilled is that when a person harvests his produce, he should leave over some of the produce at the end of the field. According to biblical law, this leftover produce has no minimum required amount. That is, the biblical obligation is fulfilled by leaving even one stalk uncut. However, despite the lack of a biblical minimum, the sages in Tractate Payah, second Mishnah, first chapter, second Mishnah, set a minimum required amount for this matter, which is 1/60th of the entire crop. Among the underlying purposes of the mitzvah is that Hashem, blessed is He, desired that His chosen nation be crowned with every good and precious attribute, and that they should possess a benevolent soul and a generous spirit. Now, I have already written, says the author, not me, but the author, the Chinuch, in Mitzvah 16, that the soul, i.e. the personality, is influenced through a person's actions. This is very important, right? The outer awakens the inner. So if I say, I don't feel like being friendly, I don't feel like exerting myself, do it anyway. Fake it till you make it. The outer, good morning, it's nice to see you, actually makes it real. Isn't that amazing? It is amazing. Let's see. That the personality is influenced through a person's actions, and when one performs good deeds, his soul will become more good, and Hashem's blessing will then rest upon it. This provides an understanding of our mitzvah. There is no doubt that when a person leaves over a portion of his produce in his field, and declares it ownerless, so that the needy may benefit from it, his soul will display an abundance of goodwill and a proper and blessed spirit, and will also display the sentiment that Hashem has satisfied him with His beneficence, His goodness. Consequently, his soul will repose in goodness. But on the other hand, one who gathers everything into his home and leaves no bounty behind from which the paupers can benefit, they who before the harvest saw the field filled with standing grain and craved for it in order to satiate themselves with it, for they were hungry. Such a person who has no compassion for his poor neighbors undoubtedly demonstrates that an evil heart and a bad spirit exists in his personality. Consequently, evil will befall him. As the sages of the blessed memory have stated in Sota, according to the measure with which one measures his actions, they, the heavenly tribunal, measure for him in return, right? Midah keneged midah. This concept will also prove adequate for us, according to the simple understanding of matters, to explain the underlying purpose of the mitzvahs of leket, mitzvah 218, which is again other gifts to the poor, shicha, which is again another mitzvah for the poor, leaving over the poor. When you forget, the bundle will go into it. Peret of the vineyard and olalos. All these are very similar. Gifts to the poor. They help us be godly. They help us do the right thing. They help us become compassionate. And they ultimately help our personality to become better human beings. Thank you for listening. We will continue with this mitzvah, God willing, tomorrow. Responsive future mitzvah 36, 100 for the gold. Have a wonderful rest of your day.